I'm Jason with the All Things Open community. We're here with Lisa. Please introduce yourself to ATO.
Hi, Jason. I'm Lisa Marie Namphy. People call me Lisa. I'm the head of developer relations at Intuit for the Intuit technology and open source part of Intuit. And I am also a CNCF ambassador. I've been a longtime community architect, and I currently and have for about the last 12 years run a very large open source community in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Thanks for doing that. I want to know what excites you about open source, and in particular diversity and inclusion, what's happening today with that?
Open source just gives opportunity. If I look at my career specifically, so many of the things I did in open source in the early days of OpenStack, early days of Kubernetes, running the user communities, writing books, none of that was part of my job. All of that is how I pivoted into the career I have right now and for the last 3 jobs that I've had. But that didn't exist in the beginning. And I think that's so many people's stories. I mentioned that during Community Leadership Summit yesterday, and lots of people came up to me afterwards and said, I also got into what I'm doing now because of open source. And I just think it gives opportunity and it equalizes opportunity if we do it right.
Perfect. How is AI impacting diversity and inclusion efforts? Is it impacting?
AI is obviously the most disruptive thing and the formative technology we have right now. Again, like open source, we have a responsibility. AI can provide tremendous opportunity, but AI can also provide tremendous risk, and in especially diversity and inclusion, right? McKinsey just published an article very recently talking about the fact that this is a $7 to $15 trillion industry, but we are running a serious risk of having a $43 billion wealth divide for the African American community here in the U.S. and the white community in the U.S. So there's a lot of data points that that while AI is super, super exciting, we really need to be very intentional and very careful about how we're developing this technology. We have to make sure we are thoughtful and keeping humanity front of mind.
Perfect. Is there one thing or a list of things that people can do to be more inclusive in open source communities?
Hey, this is Todd with All Things Open. Thank you so much for watching. We truly appreciate it. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button. We've got a lot of new content coming we think you're going to be interested in. One final favor, be sure to go to allthingsopen.org, allthingsopen.org to see everything that we do. Back to the video.
I think, be intentional about how we're developing software. The big argument about how open should AI be, I think open source does have the potential to bring in more diversity, more equality, more voices, and more governance to watch out for these things. But we have to be extremely intentional about it. And as you know, if you're not intentional, diversity doesn't happen on its own.
Exactly. Do you have any tips, best practices, or new tools that you're using that you could share with the ATO community?
Pro tip, make sure you're here on Sunday. This is a 3-day conference. Today is day 2. So I've been telling everybody, if you weren't here yesterday, you were missing out. But the good news is we had over 1,000 people register for Community Leadership Summit, over 1,000 people register for the Inclusion and Diversity Open Source Day, which I had the great honor of emceeing. And it was a fantastic day. There is so much learning that happens on Sunday of this event. So that's your word of advice. Come here on a Sunday.
Perfect. All right. Well, all that knowledge has to go somewhere. Do you have any advice for attendees on what to do with what they're learning after the conference?
Yeah, I would just make sure you do something. Don't leave here having had all these great conversations and your mind full of incredible ideas and then just go back to business as usual. We just spent a whole day yesterday talking about how we can impact and affect change. That only happens if you actually go and do something. So take some time and think about, what am I going to do the first thing when I get home to do something different than the way I've been doing it? What did I learn here that is going to teach me how to actually do something tangible that's going to make a difference, and then do that.
I think that's great advice. Thanks for your time today, Lisa. It's been fun.
Oh my gosh, it's been so fun. It's so great to see you again. Thanks for all you do.
Appreciate it. Thank you.